Hello, Safe. Good to see you too. Hello, Ive, and my other Arabic friend over here in YouTube. You're fired up for the lesson today? All right. I'll try to make it interesting. Welcome, everyone. Hi. My name is Teacher Mark. Hello, hello. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Fluke. Hello, Sammy and Patrick. Hello, Little Fish and Amber. Hello. Hello, Noah. Hello, Hadiya. Hello, Mahir and Volcano and Maddie. Hello, everyone. I'm fine. How are you? Good. Well, we already have somebody who wants to come ask me questions. Okay, let's talk to Little Fish. Little Fish, would you like to come talk with me and ask me some questions?
Hi,
Hello, Little Fish. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. And you're in China where? What city?
I'm living in northeast of China, Liaoning province.
Liaoning. Okay. All right. And what can I do for you today?
My job is international trading, and I have to call to the foreigners every day. So I have to improve my speaking skills and my pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What
So,
time is it?
what time is it here? It is 9:25 a.m. this morning.
9:25.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the planet. So, yeah. So, let me ask you a question. What are you doing to try to improve? How are you trying to fix it? How are you trying to become better? What are you doing?
I feel I cannot how to say that, I cannot talk with others very fluently, and my pronunciation also have some Chinese accent. So I wanna talk more, talk to the native speakers more, to change my pronunciation and try to learn some ways to express something what I want to say. Because sometimes I think I don't know how to describe how to say what I want to say.
Okay. I think your accent is really not a problem. I think that's not what you need to worry about. You need to focus on improving more of your vocabulary and your grammar. Those are the two things you need to work on more than your accent. Your accent is okay. I don't think you're going to have too much trouble. Like if you were talking to foreigners, like a call center job or something, I think most foreigners will probably understand you fine. But I think that if you have better vocabulary, then you won't have so much trouble trying to find the right words, right? So I think you need to build your vocabulary more and work on your grammar a little bit more. Your grammar is not bad, but I think you could work on your grammar a little bit, okay? But the secret to any language, and I say this, I've probably said this 10,000 times on this live stream. The secret of language is thinking. So you don't need speaking practice as much as you need thinking practice. You don't have the right words to say because you don't think about the right words to say often, right? But if you think about the words more often, then they'll be ready when you need them. Okay, so 我回首中文，可是现在我住在美国，可是如果我要联系，这是很难的，因为没有人，没有中国人可以说话。可是每天我可以想中文。如果我可以想，我可以说。Okay, so if you can think it, you can say it. So that's why you need to spend a lot of time thinking it. And when you find something that you don't know how to say, then write it down, and then that's your homework. Okay? So if you want to become more comfortable with the language, you have to have the language comfortable here first. All right. So you should spend a lot of time when you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth, think in English. When you take a shower, think in English. When you make breakfast, think in English. When you go to the store, think in English. When you watch TV and movies, think in English. When you make dinner, think in English. That's what I do, but in Chinese. Okay. So, you have to just work on that more. And the more comfortable you become in your mind, then you'll become comfortable with your words. Now, the other tip I can tell you is sometimes you're looking for the perfect word, but you don't need the perfect word. You just need something that they will understand. Okay, so for example, I don't know the Chinese word for atom. An atom, A-T-O-M. I don't know the Chinese word for that. 可是我可以说，在地球每个东西在里面有非常小的东西。你听得懂我说什么吗？在地球每个东西有里面非常小的东西。这是 atoms。听得懂吗？就是那个原子。Understand? So what I said was, for everybody in here, most usually people understand me when I say this. What I said was, in the world, all things, inside this thing, there are small little things, right? Those are called atoms. 里面有好多原子，对不对？
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. So 我不知道原子怎么说，可是我可以说别的。你也可以说别的, something else. Say something else that's close enough that they can understand. That's all. All right? So, Noah, you don't have to understand everything I say. Sometimes I speak Chinese. Why? Because I can speak Chinese, Noah. And many of my followers here are Chinese, so I demonstrate my language ability. And it's good for you, Noah. It's good for you, even if you don't understand me, Noah. Why? Because it shows you that I'm using the same things I'm telling you for my own Chinese, and that's why I can speak. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you don't understand my Chinese. That's okay. You understand my English, and everything I say in Chinese, I'm explaining in English, so don't worry. All right? So just practice more thinking, okay? That's the secret. Work on your vocabulary more, practice more thinking. You can use a couple of websites. One is called eslfast.com. That's a great website for practicing English. Another one is called Games to Learn English.com. Games to Learn English.com. And then there's another one, eslab.com. Those three websites are excellent for practicing your English, your listening, your accent, your grammar, all of that. Go to those three websites, use them. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. See, Amber said that's how I survived in the United States. You mean by thinking, right? Oh, or Amber, I think, means she didn't know words, but she would find another way to describe it, right? So it's like this. I'm not a great artist. I can't draw very well, okay? But if you ask me to draw a dog, I can draw something. And you'll look at it and say, oh, that's a dog, right? So it's not a perfect dog, but it's something that you can recognize. That's how language works too, right? You don't need the perfect words. You need words that someone can recognize and understand. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
And then the more you do it, you will learn the right words. You will learn more vocabulary, and that will help you. So your accent is not the problem. Your vocabulary and your grammar is what you need to work on. Okay?
Okay. Because sometimes when I call to my customers and they feel they cannot understand what I was saying, and I was awkward and I don't know how to.
Okay, let me give you another tip for work. You have video calls or audio calls? Or both?
Just radio.
Video. Okay,
Video.
good.
Okay.
Now, the next time you need to ask permission to record the video calls. Okay? If you can record the calls, you can do a few things, okay? If you can record the calls, one, now you can go back and listen to the call and listen to your client. You can listen to your customer and hear their voice. So you can practice listening to their voice. That will help your listening, okay? Two, you can review what you said. You can listen to yourself. Musicians, you see the drums behind me? I'm a musician. When we have a performance, we record it. And then later I go back and I listen to my performance and I say, oh, I did this really well, but I didn't do this very good. I'll review. What did I do? What could I do better? You can do that too. Record your calls and then listen to yourself and say, oh, I can fix that. I can make that better. You know, I see why they didn't understand me. Let me fix it, right? So record your calls. And also, if there is any miscommunication, if they don't understand you, if you record the call, that'll save you, right? If you record the call, maybe you can figure out why you have a misunderstanding. But if you don't have a recording, then it's I say this and they say this, and you're going to argue, right? But if you have a recording, now you have evidence. You have proof of what happened. right? So record your calls and review. Musicians do this, and sports athletes, they do it too, right? So when an athlete has a game, like a football player or a baseball player, when a basketball player, they have a game, they watch the game later. They'll watch what they did and see what they did well and see what they did poorly so they can improve.
Yeah.
So you can do that with your calls too. Record them and listen to yourself to figure out how you can improve. Okay? And if you want, you can go to my website. If you want to, you can buy a few private lessons from me. If you want, I can help you personally. Okay, here's my website. You can go to my website. You can look at buying some lessons from me, and I can help you personally. I can sit down with you and say, okay, let's work on your grammar. Let's work on your vocabulary. Let's work on your pronunciation. Let's have some conversations. Practice conversation, right? So that you can be more comfortable. Okay, so if you want some lessons, go to my website.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
I will search. Yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions for me today?
And I have another question. It's also the last question. Sometimes I feel I cannot speak very fluently.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stop
Mm-hmm.
and then think how to speak, how to say. Yeah, that's the problem.
That's why I told you you need to think in English more. If you think in English all day, then you won't stumble. Then you won't be nervous and you won't lose the words. If you think in English a lot, then you'll be ready to use it. But that's why you're not ready. You have to think. You have to think, oh, how do I say this? How do I say this? Because you didn't do enough thinking. If you do more thinking, then you'll be ready, right? So you have to create a way to practice thinking, okay? And again, if you get a lesson from me, I have a way to teach you how to think in English. You can get a lesson from me and I'll show you, okay?
Okay.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Well, good luck to you. Come back and see me again. Make sure you follow, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so let's see. Let me go back and catch up with the comments. I speak English and I speak Chinese. I also know a little bit about a bunch of other languages, okay? So, yeah, guys, you know, it really is that simple. If you want to learn a language, whatever you're learning, you need to take that, put it in your head, and think it that day. You need to think it. Use it in your mind. Okay? It's like this. Language is a performance. Language is a performance. Every time you speak, you are performing. Some people are much better performers because they practiced first in their head. You can practice language anytime, anywhere in your mind. No one else will hear, no one else will know, just you. And you can practice and get it ready. All right? Can I give you the rules of grammar fast? No. No, Volcano. Come on. Can you give me the rules of Arabic grammar fast? There are no shortcuts. Okay? Wait, let me make that more clear. Hold on, everybody. There are no shortcuts. Okay? Can you teach me the rules of grammar fast? No, if I could, I'd be a billionaire. Everybody would want to know my secret. Everybody wants to learn grammar fast. It can't be done. If it could be done, someone would have done it already. Grammar is hard. It takes study. You must do it. Okay? Hello to the new people. Hello, Ayub and Zozeng. No, what is it? Zozakenzo. Okay, that's an interesting name. From Indonesia, I believe. Hello, Mona. Hello, Aris and Lady. Can you ask something? Sure. That's right. Learning a language is like learning a musical instrument, right? If you want to be a brilliant piano player, then you have to put in the time, do the work. If you want to be a brilliant violinist, you have to put in the time and do the work. If you want to be a brilliant singer, you have to put in the time and do the work. If you want to be a brilliant speaker, you have to put in the time and do the work. Hello, Miguel. The temperature today is not so cold as before. It's getting a little warmer. It's still cold to you, but it's -4, but that's a big change. That's actually better. -4 is not so bad. But in the workplace and regarding IELTS test, they need advanced level of speaking. I think on the IELTS test, you need advanced level of speaking. But in most workplaces, you don't need advanced level of speaking. You just need clear, very easy to understand speaking. You're not trying to impress people at work. You're trying to get stuff done. You use the words that work the best to motivate, that work the best to communicate, that work the best to facilitate what you want done, right? So I don't, if you're worried about impressing people at your work with your language, you're worried about the wrong things. All right. Hello, Porfirio. I love that word, or that name. Such a great name, Porfirio. It's a character from some Shakespearean play. I can't remember which one. Hello, Renato. Mark, isn't it easy to think only in English and don't associate new vocabulary in my mother language? It's not easy, Renato, because that's the problem. When you have two languages, you have two minds, okay? One mind is an advanced level of communication ability, right? One mind has a very advanced level of communication ability, but one mind doesn't have the same level of communication ability. So you need to think of your native vocabulary so that you can consider which words you know and don't know in your new target language, in English, right? So you can't just forget about your native vocabulary. You have to consider, okay, which words do I know in my native language that I don't know in this one, right? It's kind of like filling in the blanks, right? You see the new word, the image comes to mind in Portuguese. How do you change it? You don't change it. You don't change it. You add to it, Renato. You add to it, right? So when you see it, you need to have multiple things come up, not just one, right? So figure out how to say it in Portuguese, then figure out how to say it in English, and they will eventually connect. Okay, they will connect. And sometimes, Renato, you can go and look to find out where the origin of the word, like where's the word come from? Sometimes that will help you remember. Okay? How long can you learn, does it take to learn English level 1? Level 1, Barbara, I don't know what that means, level 1. There is no level 1 of English. There's many, different levels of ability in English. But Barbara, you can learn to feel good about a language within 6 months to a year if you put the time in and you do it well, right? So within 6 months to 1 year, you can choose any language. And if you have a good plan and a good system of learning and practice, then you can learn a lot in 1 year. Okay, 6 months to 1 year. But I'm not going to say you're fluent. No, that's stupid. Nobody can be fluent in a language in 6 months. Nope, can't be done. I don't care what anybody says. It can't be done. Did I start my New Year's resolution? My New Year's resolution is to just keep trying to not, I'm trying to just keep going forward. That's my resolution. How can we learn passive recording of verb grammar such as it is said or it is thought? Azeta, I would say I think that the best way to learn that type of grammar is to read that type of grammar. Right? So do a search online for passive reporting, examples, passive recording, passages, right? Or use ChatGPT or one of the AIs and tell it to give you a bunch of articles written in passive reporting, right? Read it. It's like Shakespeare. There's a certain way of speaking that if you read it enough, you start to kind of understand what's happening and how to use it. Okay? How to know if phrasal verbs, if they're separable or inseparable? What do you mean by that, Waris? Separable or inseparable? Do you mean how some phrasal verbs, the part of the word gets broken up into later in the sentence? Is that what you mean? You hesitate to open your own voice room. I don't know how to deal with rude people or how to refuse to answer private questions politely. Any suggestions? Jenny? Well, rude people, don't deal with them. Just remove them and move on. Just hit the click remove button. I don't argue with people who are difficult. I don't want to. I have no interest. It's not my... They are trying to waste my time, and I have no time to waste. So... bye. That's what I do. If somebody's annoying to me here, I most often I just kick you out. I won't even give you an opportunity to explain. It's your fault. It's just like a classroom. You don't argue with the students about whether it's okay to talk. You just tell them get out. All right. So and then as far as private questions go, you just say, I don't answer private questions like that, Jenny. You don't have any obligation to give private information here. Now, I think that some people go a little too crazy with it, okay? I think that some people get a little paranoid and a little too crazy with it. When you're having a conversation with someone, it's natural to talk about where are you from? What do you do for fun? What do you, where did you go to school? What did you study? You're talking about your background. That's personal, right? Now, if somebody asks me my birthday, probably I won't say that. And actually, I'm probably not going to tell people my age anymore either. However, if people ask me what I like to do for fun or where I've traveled before or, do I have any brothers and sisters, things like that, I will answer. Okay? Draw your own limits about private information, Jenny, but don't be... If you're going to be online, you are putting yourself out there. If you are going to be online, you are putting yourself out there, and you must put something out there, okay? Nobody is going to come watch me if I'm just a black screen and you can't see anything. It's just... I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Hello, Sarah. Hello, hello. Hello to all the new people. Hello, Jesus from Costa Rica. Thank you very much. You're very, very kind of you it's very kind of you to say that. What do I think of the apps that offer speaking English in 3 months? Porfirio, I think that you can learn a lot in 3 months, but wouldn't you think it's crazy if I told you I learned Spanish in 3 months fluently? Don't you think that would be a little unlikely? Don't you think? I guess it depends on what your definition of fluent is, but I hate the word fluent. It's such a stupid word. So no, I don't believe in any of the 3-month, 6-month, even 1-year programs. Yeah. Hello, Ron. What's the difference between besides and except? When should I use which word? Besides and except sometimes can be interchangeable, Ron. Besides pepperoni pizza, which other pizzas do you dislike? Except pepperoni pizza, which other pizzas do you dislike? Technically, those are relaying the same information. It's relaying the information in a different way, but you're saying the same thing. Let me think about how to phrase my answer. Okay, so, Ron, I think the easiest way to understand the difference is to consider what these words really mean. Beside means on the side of, next to something. Except, ex means out, and sept comes from the Latin word acceptus, excepire, which means to take out. To take out, right? To make an exception, to reserve. So, exception, an exception is something that is removed, taken out. But besides is something where you say this one and this one next to each other, right? So they could be used to describe the same thing, but in a different way. All right. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. You can't handle rude people or curious. Well, there are sometimes rude people who annoy me here and bother me. It happens every once in a while. I try not to let them bother me, but, Hello to all the new people. All right, you mean when an object takes place between the verb and the part? Yeah, right. Cheer you up, right. How can you know when? You can't, whereas, as far as I know, there's no rule. As far as I know, there is no rule about when those words are broken up. Phrasal verbs are improvised language. So because phrasal verbs are improvised language, or I should say it's improvised combinations of language that create new meanings. And when you create these new combinations, every one is different. Right? And so there are no actual rules regarding these things. These are colloquially created, right? Meaning they're created almost organically through conversation with people. Someone will say, pull up, and have it mean something, and now it's a word. Now it's a phrase. So there is no rule that I know, except for just learning them. And phrasal verbs are difficult because they are improvised language. There's no rule. Okay? Why I don't believe in 3 to 6 12-month programs if you're going to be studying 12 hours a day. Even 12 hours a day, though, I don't think you can become fluent. Fluent means everything. You should be able to speak about anything. That's the way I see it. Okay, that's why it's a dumb word. Doesn't really have any value. So what I would say is, no, come on. It's insulting to a language. Artem, if I said, can you become a brilliant pianist in 1 year, even if you practice 12 hours a day? No, I don't think you can. Can you become a brilliant drummer in 1 year? No, you cannot become a brilliant drummer in 1 year. That takes time. Okay? So, same thing is true with language. You cannot become a brilliant speaker in 1 year. What does brown study mean? Where did you see that, Mona? Is there any way to think in English? Yes, there is. Go to my YouTube channel and you can find the video about thinking in English. There's my YouTube channel. You can become a brilliant blogger in 1 year. Yeah, but that's because there is no standard of what a blogger is. The only thing that makes you a successful blogger is numbers. It has nothing to do with quality. It's only about quantity. So you can't compare the two because there's technique in learning how to play an instrument. There's technique in learning a language. There's no technique in learning how to be a blogger. Everybody's different. It's really just luck. You know, if you happen to have something, a good topic, and you speak well about it, and you catch the right audience the right time, then you can be a great blogger. But that doesn't have anything to do with technique or ability. Okay, get it off my chest means that you have something inside you that you want to tell, right? Maybe it's a sad thing, maybe it's a mad thing, an angry thing, a bad thing, some kind of something inside of you that you want to tell somebody, but you feel like you can't. So it's inside you. Now you want to get it off your chest, like it's a weight pushing down on you. It's a weight. All this pressure that you feel is a weight, and you want to get it off your chest. So you want to tell somebody. That's what it means. Okay? What should we focus to enhance our speaking? Because I don't like to go to private courses. Hilal, have you watched my videos here much? Go watch my videos. I have hundreds and hundreds of tips about how to enhance your speaking, your reading, your writing, your listening, all of it. Okay? I think you have to speak or live with natives to be fluent. I think that anytime you use the word fluent, you're going to be in trouble. The word fluent has no meaning. The word fluent has no meaning. How many words do you need to know to be fluent? Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000? Is it 25,622? Or is it 25,623 words? So if I know 6,522 words, I'm not fluent. But if I know 6,523 words, I am. That's stupid. How much grammar do I need to know? How much grammar? Do I need to know every rule perfectly? Or can I know a few rules like so-so? Does my accent need to be perfect for me to be fluent? Right? The word fluent is just a stupid word, so forget using it. It's just a confusing word that makes you think there's a place where you can stop. There is no place you can stop. Language has no end. Language has no end. There is no end. Put that out of your mind. Put that out of your mind. There is no end. Fluent is what you think is the end. Oh, I can be fluent. I'm done now. I don't need to practice anymore. I'm fluent. It doesn't exist. It's a mythical place that does not exist. So forget it. Language has no end. Hello, Mona. One of my teachers said that it's an idiom. What was it again? It might be a British idiom. I don't know. Let me go see. What was that again? Something about a brown something. What was it? Brown study? Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. So I've never heard a brown study before. It may be more common in England, in the UK, right? It means brown is like a dark, deep color, right? And it's a gloomy color, right? It's not a happy color. When we think of brown, usually we don't think of like a happy color, right? So when you're in a brown study, it means that you're very deeply thinking about something. You're thinking somberly about it. You're thinking. It's like a sad kind of very serious kind of thinking. That's a brown study. Okay. But again, I've never actually heard that used in the United States ever. Okay. All right. I'm trying to catch up with the comments and then I'll bring somebody else up on stage. I promise. Okay. My channel, my YouTube channel is here. Okay. My partner's not here today. He will be here on Wednesday and Friday each week. Wednesday and Friday, not Monday. Even if you're adopted by native English speakers, I still don't think that you'll be fluent in 1 year. What's the meaning of big deal? A big deal means something important or something that matters. Okay, so if I say it's not a big deal, it means it doesn't really matter. If I say it's a big deal, then it really matters. Okay? I am game. Where does the idiom come from? I don't think that's so much an idiom as it is just a slang way to say I'm willing to play your game. I am game means I am willing to play the game. I am willing to do this thing you want to do. Hello to all the new people. Can I suggest free English speaking applications? Sorry, say it. I don't really know. This one. I can suggest free English websites, but not applications. I don't really know too many applications. Paint the town red, Siraj. Siraj, you need to go to theidioms.com. Go to theidioms.com and ask all your idioms questions there. Okay? All right. And guys, you guys are coming up with all these questions. Okay, Laksh and Siraj, and guys, have you asked these questions to Google? Have you just typed these things online? Those are not hard questions to find the answer to. I'm going to pin you down means I want to get an answer from you. I'm going to get an answer from you. You can't say, I'll tell you later. I want the answer now. I'm going to pin you down. Okay? And what was the other one? Hard as nails. A nail is a thing that you hammer into the wood. It is made of steel or iron, right? You bang it into the wood. It's hard. It's hard as nails. So to say hard as nails means you are strong. You're resilient. You can be pounded on. You're hard as nails, right? You're strong. Massacre and slaughter, the difference. Sometimes nothing. The words could be used interchangeably. Sometimes it was a massacre. It was a slaughter. But the word slaughter can also be used when we talk about the formal process of killing animals for producing meat, right? So before you can butcher an animal, to butcher an animal means to cut the animal up into parts to sell. Before you can butcher it, you must slaughter it. Right? So we don't say massacre the animals, massacre the cows. Maybe we should, but we say slaughter the animals, right? So massacre is used when we're talking about people. Slaughter could be used to talk about people, but is also formally used to talk about the production of animal meat. Okay, killing animals for the production of animal meat. All right, and Jack Ma, I see the comments and just now because I have a lot of people here and I'm trying to answer all the questions. So you have to be patient and wait. Okay? 有耐心，等我一下。很多人有问题啊。Okay? Faith and belief. Ooh, Jack one. That was a hard one. Jack, that one gets into almost some spiritual like differences. So send me a private message on that one. I don't want to discuss that here. That'll become a whole thing. Send me a private message about that one. What's the difference between? Huh? What's the difference between a colloquialization and a collocation? So colloquial means words that were informally created. Collocations means words or phrases that often appear together. So colloquial is talking about where it comes from. How is it created? It's created locally, like regional language, right? Collocation is just saying these words are usually put together. Okay? The bee's knees is an old English idiom that means, or it's actually not an idiom, it's slang. It just means cool. It's the bee's knees, means it's cool. I don't want to be a burden to you is the most common one. I'm on my computer, Jack. I'm doing my live stream on my computer. I have a lot of tricks I can do. I have it right here. My phone is here. Not on my phone. Okay, I'm on my computer. All right. Well, I'll be a shepherd, he said. His father said no more the next day. I don't know, Jack. You'll have to tell me the bigger context, and then I can explain that. A shepherd is a sheep herder. The word shepherd, sheep, S-H-E-E-P, herd, to keep a herd, a group of animals, and to keep them together is to herd them, right? So a shepherd is a man who takes care of a group of sheep, right? So I'll be a shepherd is a figurative way of saying I'll take care of the people like they're sheep. I'll take care of this group of people like they're something that I'm the leader. I take care of them. Okay? I'll watch out for them. All right. And all right, raise your hand if you have questions and you would like to talk to me. Why is there a need for the letter C in the English language when we're already having the letter K? Mala, that has to do with the creation of the English letters. So, for example, the alphabet is created. Well, alphabet comes from alpha, beta. Those were Greek letters, right? And those were actually from another language that was called Semitic, which was created from Egyptian hieroglyphs. So it's a long story, Mala, but there are historical reasons why the language was created that way. Okay, but it actually goes back to Egypt. Okay. Oh, his father said no more. What was the no more? Oh, sorry. I'm not sure, Jack. I need to read the passage. Okay? I need to read the passage for that. All right. How about Gricho? Gricho, you want to come talk to me? Raise your hand if you have questions. Come talk to me.
Hello, dear Mark.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. You're in Afghanistan. Where are you?
I'm in Kabul.
All right, great. And how can I help you today?
Yes. I want to improve my English communication skills. How would you suggest me to improve my English language skills? To learn English.
Okay, well, you sound good already. What's the problem?
Thank you. I lack in the vocabulary, especially.
All
And,
right. So, how are you learning vocabulary? You say you want to learn vocabulary. I want to know, what are you doing now?
I'm doing. I'm searching on YouTube and watching some tutorials and paragraphs and reading books for this.
Okay.
What would you suggest me? What is the best method to follow on?
You need a bunch of methods, and they need to be systematic. All right. So one of the best ways to learn vocabulary is just read. Read as much as you can. Okay. Reading is the best way to learn vocabulary. One. Two, you can get another book. There's a book called a thesaurus. I'm going to mute you for just a minute while I answer, just because of the background noise, okay? But there's a book called a thesaurus. Let me give you guys the website. Thesaurus.com. Go to thesaurus.com. And thesaurus.com is a website. It's a dictionary, but it's a dictionary that will tell you all the words that are related to the word you already know. So you already know the word happy. I'm sure you know the word happy, but I bet you don't know the word jubilant. And the word jubilant means happy. It's related. It's a cousin. Words have family. Right? They have words that are related by, they're similar meaning, or they're cousins, or they're distant cousins. Maybe they're not the same meaning, but they're, they have some relationship, right? So that's another way to learn vocabulary, is learn by family. Another way to learn vocabulary is by topic, like computers. All the words that have to do with computers: keyboard, monitor, CPU, hard drive, software, virus. Those are all words that have to do with, computer, stop. Sorry, that was my AI. Yeah, you can use topics like sports, all the words that have to do with sports, music, all the words that have to do with music, cooking, all the words that have to do with cooking. Choose a topic, find the vocabulary for that topic. And then finally, the other way I love to learn vocabulary is finding out where the words come from. English words come from many, many places, right? Not only England, right? So we have some words that are Anglo-Saxon words, meaning they are originally English, right? But we also have 60% of our words come from Latin or Greek. 30% of our words come from French. 20% of our words come from German. We have words that come from Arabic. We have words that come from Persian. We have words that come from Italian, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese. That's one reason why English is difficult, because we steal words from many, many languages, and we put them all together to make a new language. And that's why the spellings are weird, and the pronunciations are weird, and the meanings sometimes are weird, because our words, it's a combination of many languages. And a lot of the words, if you find out where the word comes from, it has an interesting story. And if you meet somebody, right, if you go out and you have lunch with somebody and they tell you some really cool stories about where they came from, you're going to remember them. You're going to be like, wow, he told me this cool story. He comes from this place and he did this and he did that. Wow, it was so cool, right? He's going to tell you where he comes from and you're going to be interested. Words do the same thing. Sometimes words have a very interesting story, and if you find out the interesting story, you're going to remember that word. You don't have to try to remember it, you just will. All right, so there are 4 ways to learn vocabulary. Okay, reading. 2, use a thesaurus. 3, learn by topic. And 4, find out where the words come from. The etymology, it's called. Etymology means the history of where the words come from. All right? Let me unmute you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now you can talk.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the best couple of minutes when you talked, and I've learned so much from you, and thank you for your precious time.
You're welcome.
So, can I say now that I'm jubilant to hear you and come up on stage with you?
You can. You can, exactly. Yeah, I'm jubilant. Very good. Yeah, that's exactly right.
you.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah. And just remember that if you don't have a system, you can't learn well. So whatever you want to learn, you need to sit down and figure out a system, a plan, right? So I just gave you a plan in 4 ways to learn vocabulary, right? And I didn't even talk about memorizing. I didn't talk about that because that's the one that everybody tries to do, but it doesn't work. So the reason memorizing doesn't work is because it's too boring. Your brain doesn't like boring. So memorizing, guys, memorizing is basically intellectual torture. You're torturing your mind with knowledge. Rather than teaching your mind something in an interesting way, you're forcing it to remember in the most boring way. And that's like torture. That's why you hate it, and that's why you don't remember. Because it was painful. It wasn't fun. But if you find out a fun story about where that word comes from, you don't have to try to remember. It's easy to remember. Okay?
Yes. Teacher Mark, do you come live every day?
Almost. Usually like 6 days a week, maybe 5 days. Some days I'm busy, but usually I'm here 5 or 6 days a week. Yeah.
Do you have a perfect schedule timing, like exactly the same time like today?
Yeah, usually I'm trying to do, starting this year, I'm trying to do 2 broadcasts, 1 live stream and 1 voice room. I'm trying to do at least 1 per day, right? So usually I'll either do, in the morning, I'll have a live stream or a voice room. In the evening, I'll have a live stream or a voice room. Okay? The live streams are more popular. I get a lot more followers when I do live stream. I'm sorry. No, other way around. The voice rooms are a lot more popular. I get a lot more people when I do voice rooms. But I like doing the live streams. I like to see people. I think it's more interesting when we can connect this way, So I don't get as many followers when I do live streams, but I'm trying to do both live streams and voice rooms. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I also think the same, that the live streams keeps you engaged.
Yeah. I think it's more interesting to see somebody, So, all right. Well, Grito, I think you speak really well. I think you're doing really well. Just keep working on it. Okay.
I also think the same, that the live stream keeps you more engaged.
Yeah.
Instead of voice streams.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it. But anyway.
Definitely.
Well, good luck to you, my friend.
I'm gonna follow you for that.
Thank you.
Precious time and beautiful learning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll come again.
Yeah. Come back and see me again. Okay.
We'll have much more to learn from you.
Inshallah.
Thank you for your Inshallah.
Okay. All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.
Okay. Let me check the comments. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Split the beans doesn't mean anything. Spill the beans means to tell a secret. You have a problem taking notes in the listening part. What do you mean, Camilla? Can you explain more? Jubilant and jovial are not exactly the same. No. Jovial is more like he's jovial is the word we use when we talk about Santa Claus. He was a jovial man, which means he's a cheerful man, right? So jubilant is more like celebratory, like to have a celebration, a happiness of celebration, right? And jovial is more like just a pleasant, nice character. Okay? I think. Yeah. At least that's the way I feel they are in my mind. You have a lot of vocabulary and you know most grammar, but you can't speak very well. Can you advise me? Mahmoud, I think you need to practice more thinking. I think you need to come back and see my live stream every day. Okay? If you learn how to think in English, then you can practice English more and you'll feel more confident. Okay? Then you can speak. All right? You learn 400 words every day? Nana, 400 every day? That I doubt that. I don't know if you learn them every day. You might practice with them every day, but I highly doubt that you remember all 400. If you do, then you're wonderful. That's great. Okay. Thank you, Mahmoud. I'm sorry, Mohammed. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Hello to all the new people. Thank you for coming. Let's see who else wants to talk to me today. Let's see. Let's talk to Ayub in Morocco. And let's see over here, I was provided with feedback about my teaching style and has said my style is more teacher-centered and teacher talk time was dominating the session. I need some tips on how I can make my session more student-centered. Let me get back to you on that question. Let me think about that for a minute. I'll get back to you, okay? Hello, Ayub in Morocco. Ayub, can you hear me? Yeah, Ayub, I think your connection's not very good, Ayub.
It's good. It's good now.
Oh, okay. All right. Hopefully we'll try to see if we can make it work. Are you in Marrakesh or Casablanca or where?
I am in Agadir.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Agadir?
I don't. No, but I'll look it up later.
You don't. It's a city near to the beach.
Ah, okay. All right.
In the middle of Morocco.
I see it. I Agadir. I see it. I see it. I see it. Thank you. All right. Agadir, Medina.
It
I
has
see
a
it.
nice beaches.
All right. Great.
A lot of beaches, actually.
So what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
So I'm learning English for. I want to take my English test in Duolingo, and I'm taking notes. I just take the notes that you give to my friend, the friend before me, about the vocabulary, memorizing, the website, the synonyms, working on a topic, and reading. As you said, etymology, or whatever, I don't remember exactly. But I'm still working on that, so you can give me some advices.
Okay. All right. So your first question was about writing notes. Is that what, right? You were saying you have trouble writing notes when you're listening. Is that what you mean?
Okay, so my problem right now is I'm working on communication, vocabulary, and writing. I think writing is a little bit difficult for me. Writing, I think if you can give me some advices about how to write in a good way.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of a vague question. How to write better? It depends on what kind of writing you're doing. What kind of writing do you need to improve? Writing for the IELTS test?
Yes, for
Okay.
the IELTS test, and also they give us a text and they told you to fill the blanks.
Right.
So you need to know the vocabulary very well,
Right.
and how to together a text or a paragraph. And you need to choose the words from your brain. I mean, you need to have vocabulary and to know how to use it.
That's true. You do. So, have you looked online? There are many websites where you can do IELTS writing practice. Right? If you do a search online, if you just do a search,
Reading and
you just do a search for IELTS writing practice. IELTS writing practice.
Writing, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you can do this for reading practice, writing practice, listening practice. They have many websites that help you for this, right? And that's really what you need to do. You need to go to these websites and every day practice your IELTS writing, okay? And if it's writing based on listening, then you also need to learn how to take good notes, right? When you're trying to write notes, you can't write everything. You have to write only the most important things, right? So you have to write just short, quick ideas. Don't write full sentences. Write down one word, write down one phrase that will help you remember. That's all, okay? Sometimes drawing a picture is faster than writing the words, depending on what you're trying to remember. Okay, so make good notes, but make short, quick, easy notes. That's the secret. Is you cannot write everything. You have to write very quickly. Okay, then go to this website and try using this website to practice your IELTS. Right there are a bunch of them. The British Council has one. IELTS.org has one. I mean, I just typed in IELTS writing practice into Google, and there are at least 10 websites I see here that have IELTS preparation practice, okay? Writing practice.
so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
One last question.
Uh-huh.
So what about if they give me a paragraph and they told me to fill the blanks?
Okay. There is another website I can give you to start working on that, but there's a website called ESL Fast. Okay, now, whoops, let me try again. ESLfast.com. This website is for beginners to intermediate level. It's not a very advanced website, but at the bottom, this website has about 3,000 short stories. Okay, and at the bottom of each one, they have exercises to do, and one of the exercises is fill in the blanks. So that might help you do a little bit with just this website, right? But it's not going to be advanced vocabulary. It's basic vocabulary, intermediate vocabulary. But it's a good start. Okay? And then you need to work on your vocabulary a lot. To do the IELTS, you need a high level of vocabulary, right? Follow my live streams here. I do a couple of different vocabulary streams about building vocabulary and how to learn vocabulary more. So follow me. I can give you some tips about learning advanced vocabulary. Okay, like the etymology stuff is that's really beneficial for you. For example, Ayub, can you think of any words that have the letters P-R-E in them? Yeah, P-R-E.
Precious.
Okay, precious, right? Can you think of some more?
Pretty. I don't know.
Okay, no. All right, that's okay. That was pretty good. But what I mean is, what about words like prevent, predict, preheat, prejudice, premeditation, present, prepare, pre-registration, prearrange, predetermine, preface, prehistorical, pre-production, pre-publication, pre-teen. All of these words have that one little word in them, pre, meaning before. right? That is a good
Yes,
way
yes.
to build your vocabulary. There are lots of words in English that have one little word that's related. So, for example, in English, can you think of a word that has the letters B-E-N-E in it? B-E-N-E, bene. Like benefit.
I have benefit.
What does benefit mean? Benefit, a benefit. What is a benefit? It's a benefit to
I
you.
know benefit.
What does it
It's a
mean?
benefit. It means it's good for you.
That's
or
exactly right.
You're gonna benefit
It's good
from
for
it.
you. And the reason it means it's good for you is because the word benefit comes from the Latin word bene. Bene means good. If you go to Italy today, still, bene, bene means good. Okay, so
And Spanish also, I guess.
that's right. So there are many, many words like benefit, beneficial, beneficiary, beneficent. Those are all words that mean something good. Right?
Yes.
That's a very useful trick for increasing your vocabulary, especially your advanced vocabulary. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And that's, like I said, I do a live stream about that. I do a live stream all about etymology. It's one of my hobbies. It's one of my personal interests, so I know a lot about it. So, yeah, come join me sometime.
Teacher Mark. Yeah, I know. I watched your live stream about vocabulary, but it was for once. It's about commitment. I watched you in the app and on YouTube, so it's just for once. So the vocabulary was a little bit hard. I think that I wouldn't use it. That's what I think. But it's an advanced vocabulary and it's amazing. It's all about commitment. Commitment is very important.
That's
I have
right.
To practice every day.
I teach a lot of beginning and intermediate level stuff, but I also teach some advanced level stuff. And you're right. Many of those words that I just listed, right, like prehistorical, that's not a word you use every day. That's a word for very specific conversations, right? If you said a word like predetermined, again, it's not a word we commonly use. It's a word for specific situations, right? But on the other hand, the word prevent, the word predict, the word prejudice, those are pretty common words that we use a lot, right? So when you use this trick, it will teach you a big list of words. Some of them will be basic, some of them will be intermediate, some of them will be very advanced, some of them will be very common, some of them will be very uncommon. But it's still a system. That's the secret, Ayub, is it's a system. The way you were learning words before is too random. You're just learning this word and then that word and then this word. There's no connection there. You need a system, right? And etymology is a fantastic system. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to leave my place for another
Okay.
participant. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you so much for coming, and come back and see me again, okay, Ayub?
Of course.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Now, he mentioned a couple of words. He said the word pretty, which also does have P-R-E in it, but it does not have the same root meaning. So that is one thing about this method. It doesn't work 100% of the time. There are some pre-words. The word precious doesn't have the same root, if I recall, and the word pretty doesn't have the same root, but it does work about 90% of the time. So it's a very effective system, okay? Okay. But it's boring. I disagree, Aaliyah. I completely disagree. Aaliyah, there are many English words that if you find where the word comes from, it has a crazy story that's amazing. It's not boring. It's super interesting. It makes the learning a whole lot easier. Okay? if you want something, Aaliyah, if you want something, you have to be willing to earn it. You have to be willing to work for it. Boring is a test. Boring is a test. Okay? Or are you talking about using AI to practice? Is that what you're talking about? If you're talking about using AI to practice, that's also not boring. It's only boring if you make it boring. Make it interesting. Ask it interesting questions. It will be interesting. I promise. Okay? All right. My voice is starting to fail on me already. English is the most mixed language in the world. Every language shares a history with English roots. Not every language, Alan, but a lot of them. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of languages, Alan. But you are right that English does, I think it's probably likely that English has a wider footprint than any other language in terms of how easily it adopts words from languages. I think so. Do questions and answers in English mean only questions about the language or not only that? Dimitri, I definitely am trying to mostly focus on English questions, okay? Mostly, all right? People are watching me for that purpose, okay? The majority of people are watching me for the purposes of trying to improve their language. They're not watching me to find out what I think about politics or history or anything. You know, Dimitri, who am I? I'm nobody. Nobody cares what I think. Why do you care what I think? I'm just some guy. I'm just a drummer. So, you know, your questions are interesting and I appreciate them. However, I also think, Dimitri, that the kinds of questions that you want to ask would be best asked if you develop a friendship. Okay? The questions that you want to ask require some level of trust because you're telling somebody something that is exposing in a way. You know, like you're giving your true feelings about certain things that some people might disagree with, right? So if you want to ask those kinds of questions are best asked in a non-public environment. All right? Yeah. Anyway. I'm not trying to dissuade you. I am trying to explain, though, that I have an obligation as a teacher. I have an obligation to my followers and my students, and they don't care about that stuff. No offense. They're not interested in that, I don't think. Okay? If it's a controversial topic, man, it's just not the place. You know? I'm not here to stir up controversy. I'm here to teach English and help people learn. That's it. Okay? Okay, so Hyle, I see your questions, Sohail, but your question is the wrong question. Okay? If you ask a question that's too big, then you probably won't get a good answer. Questions need to be specific and direct for them to be useful and beneficial to you. Okay. Hello, Jose in Venezuela. You care what I think? Well, I appreciate you care, but you know, man, you know, I hope you understand that my position. I hope you understand my position, that my obligation is to my students who are here to learn. Okay. My obligation is that. Okay. My obligation is not to explain everything about American culture that you don't quite understand or challenge or disagree with. That's not my position or my place. Okay? Okay, let's see. You watched my video about fluency? Yeah, well, I was talking about it earlier. Fluency has no meaning. It's such a stupid word. I hate that word. That word causes me more trouble than any other word in the English language. I want to be fluent. I want to fly. I want to fly. That's what you sound like when you say, I want to be fluent. I want to fly. Yes, I studied Chinese. Great Lakes accent. It's pretty much my accent, Alan. I live south of the Great Lakes. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is the Midwestern accent. It's not really the Great Lakes, it's the Midwest. But you're close enough. Yeah. The Great Lakes accent actually does have a slight difference compared to my voice. It does start to sound a little more Canadian. The further you go up north in the United States, the language does subtly start to change a little bit. Almost all the northern states, there's some subtle change that's vaguely reminiscent of Canadian accent. Can I explain to you the uses of performance? Jose, the word performance can be used in many ways. A performance is to perform, right? What is to perform? To perform means to act something in front of people, right? So it could be a prepared performance or an improvised performance, something that you just do without any preparation or knowledge, or something that you prepared a lot for, right? The word performance, let's see, comes from the word perform, which the original meaning, per means completely and formir means to provide. So it means to form something completely in front of you. So a performance is when you see somebody create something in front of you somehow. That's a performance. Okay? How old is my American student? Which student are you talking? I have many students, Jenny. Who are you talking about? I believe I can fly. Yeah, right. He can't fly anymore, can he? I believe I can go to jail. Let's see. You don't know how to use the word perform. Musicians perform on stage. Singers perform. Okay? Actors perform. A performance could be seeing some people act on stage, or a musical is a performance. Okay? If you go see a live music group, you saw a performance. They are performing. Okay? How many accents are different from the Canadian accent? A lot of them. What's my idea about remembering 4,000 special word? What? I'm not familiar with that, Camilla. I'm not sure what you mean. Mohammed, give me a minute. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments here. How do you make your writing more accessible to American people? British people can understand me, but Americans cannot. Well, I'm American. 我听得懂你写什么? To make your writing more accessible? 为什么你觉得美国人听不懂你写什么? 我觉得他们听得懂。我看一下你写什么，我觉得就是你的英文不错啊，所以我觉得大概美国人可以听得懂你写什么。不担心。Alan, you want to come on stage for 10 minutes? All right, let's see. Let me get some people on stage. I think I can do that now. All right, Mohammed was first. Then I'll get to try to get to Alan. There's a bunch of people trying to talk to me, so please be patient. I don't know if I'll get to everybody today, okay? Mohammed, but you got to make it quick, okay? I try to give as many opportunities as possible, but I don't want to be unfair either.
Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I can't complain. So, what can I help you with today?
Actually, I want just very quick evaluation from you.
Okay.
So I want you to ask me just one question, and I will answer this question. After I answer this, I want you to give me feedback, and I want you to evaluate or assess my level.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. You have to ask me a question.
Oh! I thought you just wanted to talk about something. I'm sorry. I have to ask you a question. Okay. So tell me, what is your favorite Egyptian food?
Okay. Actually, I like Egyptian food so much, and actually, I'm the one who likes food. So I prefer to eat something like our traditional dish. It's something called koshari.
Koshari?
Maybe you did hear
Sure.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I prefer eat it from my mother because I think she is a good cook.
Moms
So
can be great cooks. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What else? I can say that I like pizza.
Okay.
So I enjoy eating pizza so much and pasta. That's all.
Okay. Interesting. All right. What about cooking? Do you like to cook, or who cooks? Just your mom?
No, my wife.
Your wife cooks?
And my
Yeah?
mom.
Okay. All right. Is your wife a good cook
I
too?
only eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I only
Good.
eat. I
All
have
right.
a bit appetite.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Me too.
sometimes I feel I'm craving to desserts. That's why, I'm not slim as you see now.
Yeah. Me too.
But I like to eat desserts, and I like to eat something like fatty foods. I really enjoy this.
Okay, yeah, me too. I mean, I don't understand anybody who says they don't they don't like a good, burger or a good steak or a good some French fries. Come on, it's delicious. I don't care what you say, it's delicious. So, okay.
They just trying to be healthy.
Now tell me. Tell me what you like to read and how often you read.
Okay. Actually, because I consider myself the one who is into business, so I'd like to eat any topic related to business in order to improve my business skills, because I want to have my own business. That is one of my dreams, and I wish this dream could be true, because actually I like to be an entrepreneur or a businessman. That's why. And actually I'm proceeding now pursuing my Master of Business Administration at University of East London, which is an online program. That's why I like to read about business a lot.
Okay.
And I like money.
Good. Yeah. Mohammed, your English is great. Your English is excellent. Really. I think you only need to focus on two things. One is your accent. Your accent is okay. I can understand you, but I think you could probably work on lessening your Arabic accent just a little more. I think it'll help you a little bit if you lessen it. And then the only other thing I would work on is your word linking.
Yes.
Yeah, to make the words more smooth when you say them. And the way to work on that is I want you to think about singing. When you
Singing?
when you sing words, the words are connected to each other because you're singing, right?
Wow.
So when you sing, the words are naturally together. So anytime you feel like your words are too disconnected like this, then I want you to try to take that, and I want you to try to make your words connected like this. Sing the words. Just choose one pitch and sing it. It doesn't matter. Okay? You don't have to be good at singing. I'm not good at singing. Just choose one pitch and try to sing the words, and they will connect more easily. All right?
That's good. That's good advice.
Okay. All right. Well,
Actually,
again,
I find it
you're doing
a
great.
valuable advice.
You're doing great, man. You just need to keep working on it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I think the more practice, the more I get
Of
improve
course.
or progress.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
And
course.
what do you think if we are telling about the scale from A1 to C2? Which level should I be?
Oh, I think that you're right in that spot between what is it, B2 and C1. You know, like you're right between the upper intermediate to advanced area, right in that level
Okay.
of upper intermediate to advanced, right? So you should be pushing yourself to advanced level. That's what you
Actually,
should
this
be.
is my target.
Yeah.
This is my target to achieve at least C1 level because I'm looking for or I'm seeking for perfection.
Okay.
That's why.
So here's what I want you to do. The Arabic accent, one of the most difficult things for Arabic speakers to try to get is the American R sound. The R sound
Yeah,
is very
and L.
different, right? And the L, right. So I want you to work on the word car.
Oh.
Yes, that was better. And when you say it, I want you to make it long and pull that word car.
Car.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Pull it and make it long. The longer you make the word, the more your brain learns the proper position. Right? If you make it
That's good.
short, your brain doesn't have time to learn. But if you make the word long, car, now now your mouth is going to learn the right sound. It's going to learn the right word, the right
Yeah.
position, and then you can try to use it in other sounds and other words, right? And you
Yeah,
know,
that's good.
Alan has the word girl.
Yeah, girl, world.
Yeah, and again,
world.
do the same thing. Make them long. Girl. Right?
World.
World. Yeah, word. And make your mouth big. Make your mouth
Yeah.
big. If your mouth is not big, then you won't speak well. Okay? If your
Yes,
mouth
yes.
is big, then everybody will know the difference between your words. But if your mouth is too small, all the words will sound the same. Okay?
That's good. Okay.
Okay, Mohammed, keep working on it. I'll see you next time, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, teacher.
Take care, my friend.
The next time, inshallah, I will try to be with you and I will be at C1 level, inshallah.
All right, keep working on it. Keep working on it. Inshallah.
Thank you. Thanks
Okay,
for your
bye-bye.
advice.
Take care, my friend.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Okay, and now let's go to Alan. Oh. Alan? Hello, Alan.
Hello, teacher Mark.
Hola, how are you?
Great. Actually, I'm better to be here on stage.
Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say. You're in Brazil. Where? Are you in Rio or Sao Paulo or where?
Rio
Oh, wow,
de
cool.
Janeiro.
All right,
and
awesome.
I'm here in my university.
Wow, look at that.
Just
That's cool.
Take some time.
That's awesome. Good for you. Good for
Thank you.
So what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Oh, just a little chat. Actually, I would like to know what is your favorite kind of music? Because you are a musician.
Yeah.
You play a lot of instruments.
There's a famous American jazz musician. His name is Duke Ellington. And he said there are only two kinds of music, good music and the other kind.
Oh my God.
And that's how I feel, is that I can like any kind of music from anywhere. I like rock music and jazz music and classical music and funk music and bossa nova and samba and pop and Latin and fusion and Indian music and African music. And music is music to me. There are some that I feel touch me more than others, but if the music is performed well and it's performed with heart, then I can like it.
Okay, so I have a question. A second question. Recently, which kind of music you feel like to be playing or even listen to? Recently.
Recently,
Recently, yes.
I will probably say indie rock because I have an indie rock band. So indie rock means independent rock, which means that it's rock and roll, but it's rock and roll that there's no pressure to sound like a certain way. You are you. You are your unique thing, right? So rock used to be this kind of thing that, like, you know, the major record companies, they said, oh, here's a great rock band. Now let's find 10 more that sound just like them, right? Like they tried to find guys who sounded exactly the same, right? Independent rock means there is no record company who's trying to find the same thing. You are you. It's independent. You do what you want. And if people like it, great. If not, then that's fine. And I was in my studio with my band last night doing some recording on a new song. And so I like indie rock because indie rock is it's indie, it's individual, it's unique, it's your own sound, it's whatever you want it to be, and there are no rules in indie. So that means that indie music can be influenced from anywhere. Right. So there are times when I'm writing a song and I'm influenced by Brazilian music. There are times when I'm writing a song and I'm influenced by classical music. We were talking about this song last night, and it's a ballad. It's a slow song, but it had this one part in it where we added some background vocals, but the background vocals were interesting. They sounded almost like a church organ. And I was like, wow, that's cool. It reminds me of like classical music, you know? So I like indie music because indie music has no boundaries. It can be influenced by anything, anywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
no limits.
Yeah.
Now at the last one. Only 3 questions.
Okay.
Tell us a really famous song that is a Indian pop music. A famous one. And an example for us.
That's an indie rock song?
Yeah.
Okay.
You say the indie rock, right?
Yeah,
Or
indie rock.
pop.
Yeah. The band, the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters, I think they are indie rock because I know enough about Dave Grohl, the guitar player and the singer. He's also a drummer, and I know enough about him that he writes the music he wants to do, and he's not listening to anybody else tell him what to write. He does what he wants, and I respect that.
Authenticity.
Yeah, so like I don't love all of their music, but I respect him tremendously because they are super famous. So they're at the pop level of fame, but they still maintain their integrity. That they are not under any pressure to sound like anything. They don't care. They sound like what they want to sound like. I know that that's how he is. He has artistic integrity, so he's indie, even if he's famous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, teacher. So for me, it's everything. And thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for coming, Alan. And your English is excellent, by the way. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Obrigado.
Oh.
Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time, okay? All right, and now let's see. Catalina was next, I believe. I'm trying to still get to everybody. Good Lord, so many people waiting. Hello, Nazar Ghul. Hello, Catalina.
Can you hear me at the moment? Oh,
I can.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I'm just asking you how are Canadian accents different from American accents because they sound the same to me.
Well, there are many American accents, right? Mine is only one of many, right?
No.
So if you go to New York, there are people there in the Bronx who sound very different. The people in Queens sound different. If you go to Boston, people sound different. If you go to Maine, people sound different. If you go to Milwaukee, people sound different.
I mean, in general, how are they different in a way?
There is no general. The northeastern accents are almost always about the vowel sounds. So, for example, if you go to Boston, in Boston, they don't say park the car; they say park the car.
Yeah. Park the car.
Yeah, it almost sounds British. It almost sounds British, right? Park the car, right? There's almost a British sound to it. And if you go, but if you go to Texas, Texas has a southern accent. Mississippi has a southern accent. Alabama has a southern accent. How y'all doing down there? Yeah, it's very, very different. Well, they'll say howdy instead of saying hello. They say howdy. How y'all doing? Which means howdy means how are you, but it's a local way to say how are you. And they have something called the Southern twang. We call it the Southern twang, which is a certain way of speaking. Like, for example, the famous actor Matthew McConaughey, he has a Texas accent. So that's why when he says, all right, all right, all right, that's the Texas accent.
Okay. So they do sound very different. So how are Canadian accents? Different from
Canadian. The Canadian accent is. So when I was I used to live in Taiwan, Catalina. I taught English in Taiwan for 4 years, and when I was there, one of my good friends was a Canadian English teacher, and we used to play music together. He was a guitar player and singer, and I played drums and sang too. And his accent sounded almost exactly like mine. Most people would say, oh, that's exactly the same. There were just a few words that are different. So, for example, the word about. What's that about? That's how an American would say it. But the Canadian version is closer to what's that about?
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the major ones is this ow, ooh sound, right? So in English, we say the ow sound more strongly, but when they say it, it's more of an ooh, not an ow. But it's very subtle.
Okay,
it's very subtle. It's not a strong thing. So you'll hear them speak, and most of the time, every word will sound just like mine. It's only when that specific sound comes up that you'll hear it, and you'll be like, "Oh, you're Canadian." We can recognize it.
So it's hard to tell.
Yes, for most people, it's absolutely hard to tell. Yeah, most people would hear him and me and think we were the same. Yeah, most people.
Okay, so thank you for that. My next question is about writing, because I would like to call myself a writer.
Okay.
But I never made sure that American readers can understand me in a way, because most of the time they just don't understand it at all. Like, my stories are only understood by British people, not American people. What do you think the problem lies in,
Who are you sending your stories to?
I mean, publishers.
Okay, so you're an actual writer, okay, and you write short stories, or you write what? What do you write?
I write poetry and flash fiction.
Okay, all right.
And also like prose, but I say that one would be. I'm not so sure about the genre.
Okay.
It's more like
And you've been rejected. How many times have you been rejected?
Every time I get rejected by an American magazine or places, but I got accepted into many British places.
Okay, so 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, how many times?
I didn't count.
That guy.
Well, I didn't know. 10 times.
Oh, okay.
I say.
Okay, 10 times. Now, do you know who J.K. Rowling is?
Yeah, I know about her. She's a terrible person. She's transphobic, and we don't like her.
That's okay. All those things being said in terms of her personal thoughts, that's not what I'm talking about. She's a writer, right? And she wrote what? What did she write? Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And Harry Potter is super famous now, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times she was rejected before she was accepted?
I don't know.
12 times.
Okay, 12.
she's a native speaker. She's a native speaker, and she wrote and was rejected by British authors and American authors, publishers, 12 times. So rejection happens. You can't expect people to just accept you. You have to earn it, right? Same thing is true in music,
I know, but
you know?
But the thing is that I got accepted
Right.
by many British places, but not American places.
So
That's my problem.
I can't. I'm not. Without being able to see your writing, I can't tell you. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But it very well could be that it has nothing to do with you. It could just be that the American publishers, maybe they just get too many. They get more submissions. Right. And so the standard could be higher. Maybe they have a higher standard, or they're only allowed to accept 10 people and they get 1,000. But the British one, maybe they are allowed to accept 100 and they only get 150. So, it could just be a numbers thing. It's hard for me to say without seeing your writing, Carolina. But I don't think it has anything to do with your grammar. I could be wrong, but just listening to you, you sound great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The main thing here is that, okay, so thank you for answering the second question. I've got one more question. I don't want to probe into your privacy or anything, but, it's just that you mentioned about, the indie stuff. I don't know if you said independent or individual. Which word did you use?
Independent. Yeah.
Okay,
Indie.
independent.
Yeah.
So do you mean like they produce their own music? They're
Correct.
not,
Correct.
They're not submitting their music to.
Correct. That's exactly
places.
right. We record it ourselves. We publish it ourselves. We don't need a record company, because record companies traditionally put a lot of pressure on you to do things the way they wanted to do them. So sometimes you are the band and you make the songs, but the record company will come in and say, well, we hired this producer and he's going to tell you how to make your music. And a lot of musicians, we eventually decided, I don't want somebody telling me how to make my music. That's my music. So instead of going to the record company, we make it ourselves. We produce it ourselves. And then we have no pressure to do it a certain way.
Yeah, so you don't need to compromise anything.
Correct.
My publisher, I mean, I know that it's
That's
very
exactly
different
right.
in the music industry, but my publisher and we made, compromises because
Right.
we couldn't agree on everything.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's kind of how the music industry is too. They want you to kind of,
Right.
can you fix this? Can you change this? Can you do this? And for a lot of musicians, it's too much. Like, it's art. No, I can't change it for you just because you don't like it. Too bad if you don't like it. So there are some musicians who, yeah, sure, that's fine. I don't care. It depends on the project, right? If I'm writing music for a TV show, I don't really care about the music. I'll do whatever they want. But if I'm writing my song, then only I get to write what it is. Only I get to say how it goes,
Yeah, but nobody else will, help you with selling it and stuff.
That's true, right? You're also at a disadvantage because you don't have their money, you don't have their support, right? So you have to weigh those things. Do you want to have more independence, more control, but not as much distribution and support, or do you want to have less control and more support?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to,
Yeah, but I think
in general that
it's also changed a lot, because now the recording technology has gotten so much better now that it is possible for musicians to make music by themselves. 30 years ago or 40 years ago, if you wanted to make a real record, you had to go to a real record studio. And those were extremely expensive. $500 an hour. So
it's not very accessible to loads of people who are on low income. Or
that's right. Yes. So that's why for a long time there were lots of people who were, maybe they were great musicians, but they never got a chance because they could never afford to go to that studio. Right. But now we have our own studio. We have our own recording equipment. We don't go to anywhere. We go to my guitar player's house. It's behind his house. We have a barn. He turned it into a studio. We have our own place we record at where nobody tells us anything. We do what we want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It must feel liberating in a way. Yeah.
Of course it
Thank you
is.
so
Yeah,
much
it's very
for
liberating.
answering my questions and stuff. I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you.
And okay.
And again,
you so much.
you sound great, Catalina. And every great artist was rejected in the beginning. Every great artist is
Yeah.
rejection is kind of part of the process, right? So
Yeah.
just keep doing it until you get there. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All
Yeah.
right. Jayo. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catalina. I'll see you next time. Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.
Take care. All right. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else's comments or questions? Let's see. Yeah, she has a great accent. Yeah, great accent. She's kind of weird. I don't know why you think she's kind of weird. I think she's fine. I'm jealous of her accent. Natalia says they may have refused for another reason. They may need you to smile or look neat. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Or it could be a simple marketing thing. From a marketing standpoint, as a publisher, if you choose a non-native writer as opposed to a native writer, it's a bigger risk as a publisher. Right? So strictly from a business standpoint, if I'm a publisher and I'm interviewing or I'm reviewing works that I want to consider publishing, it's a bigger risk as soon as you look at a work that's not written by a native. Right? So just that alone, it could be great, but maybe they just don't want to take the risk. The same thing is true in music. There are lots of great musicians, great bands, but the company's just not willing to take a risk on them for some reason, you know? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Oh, Dimitri, I guess I lost you, Dimitri. All right. I'm going to go ahead and try to answer Sohail's questions because he's been asking a bunch of questions. So I'm going to try to answer his questions. Sohail, are you there? Then I have to go because I don't have anything more to drink. My coffee is gone. That's how I know it's time to go. Hello, Sohail.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
Good. I'm good, sir.
Good. And you're in India where? Are you in Delhi or where? Kerala?
No, I'm not from Kerala. I'm from Jharkhand.
Jakarta. Okay. All right. And Jharkhand. Where is that?
Bengal, Kolkata.
Nearby Kolkata. Okay. So tell me, what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Sir, actually, when I'm speaking with the native person, so that time I'm forget some words and I'm stammering. While speaking with the native person, even my boss.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. How many times have you done that? How many times has it happened? 10 times, 20 times, 100 times? How many times?
Well, I tell you the truth, maybe I tried 20 to 40 times.
Okay, 20 to 40. It's not bad. But, Sohail, this is what I answer when people ask me a question like this. I tell you, if you haven't tried 1,000 times, then you haven't tried. It's normal. It's normal to have problems in the beginning. In the beginning, it's normal to have problems. You're not comfortable yet. You haven't done it enough to be comfortable. If you do it 1,000 times, you will be comfortable. You'll be relaxed. Okay, so 20 to 40 times, that's still, you're a beginner. You're in the beginning. Okay, there's a lot more for you to do. So the simple answer for you, Sohail, is if you want to be more comfortable, You have to do it more. 20 to 40 is not enough. Do it 200 or 400 times, and now you'll start to feel better. You'll say, now I've done it 200 times, I feel a little bit better. I've done it 400 times, I definitely feel more confident. If you do it 1,000 times, you won't have any more problems. You won't have any more problems. Yeah, you just have to do it more. That's it. That's the answer. Okay?
Actually, sir, I'm working in the oil field in a drilling operation. In my organization, I'm working with the British people only. I'm the one person from the India, so that's why my boss last month told me, so hell, you have to communicate with our all controlling team, and your communication skills very poor. So you have to concentrate in your communication skill.
You sound fine to me. You sound fine to me. I think you sound fine. I don't see. What is your job again? What do you do?
I'm working a drilling operation offshore drilling
Offshore
operation.
drilling. Okay. So then the only thing I think you need to do, you need to practice more, right? Like I said, you
sir.
just need more practice. And then you need to be very familiar with the vocabulary from your industry. Every industry has their own vocabulary words, right? There are a bunch of words about offshore drilling. I don't know those words. I'm a drummer. I don't know about offshore drilling, you know? So there are a bunch of vocabulary words in that industry that you need to be familiar with. Terminology, right? The things that they talk about. And then you just need to do it more. But I also want to tell you this, Sohail, is non-natives are more judgmental than natives are.
Yes, sir.
So what that means is your boss, he has an unrealistic expectation of you. I'm sorry, but they just do. They don't understand. They think that you're not doing well, but actually you're probably doing pretty well. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's what I would do. The British people that you're working with, talk to them and tell them, hey, I want you to know I am working on my English every day, and I want you to understand that I am doing my absolute best. I am trying my hardest to use the best English I can when I work with you. And anything you can do to help me will really be appreciated, right? So tell them that you're doing your best, because language is a two-way street. Language is a two-way street. So you can do your part. You do your part, but they have to try too. Okay? So if you tell them that, and then don't worry so much about what your boss said, because like I said, non-native bosses and teachers, they are really unrealistic, especially, I hate to say this, please don't be offended when I say this, but especially in India. In India, I've heard this so many times. In India, Indian professors of English, they go around and they beat everybody with a stick about like, no, your grammar's not good enough. No, your accent's not good enough. Your pronunciation is bad. Bad. That's what they do all the time, is tell people how terrible they are. That is not a good way to encourage your students. That's not a good way to encourage your students. And sometimes I feel like they're doing it out of it's their ego. It's not. They're not really worried about the student. They're worried about looking impressive, right? Yeah. They want people to think they're smart. So it's when you tell people how bad you are, it makes you look like you're great, you know? So again, please don't be offended. I'm not trying to offend anybody's culture here, but I am trying to say that as an English teacher, and I'm a native speaker, I see this all the time. Chinese teachers are too hard on Chinese students. There's something about when you speak that language, you take it too seriously, and you're being too critical. So Indian teachers of English sometimes are too critical of their students. Their student is doing fine, but they're telling them they're not. Chinese, same thing. Their student's doing fine, but they're telling them they're not. Right? So I think you're doing fine. You sound fine to me. And I think that part of the problem for you is confidence. And if you don't have confidence, then you can't do it. And if your bosses are telling you you're not good, then you can't have confidence. So I'm telling you that I think you are good. I think you sound fine. I think you need to keep working on it. I think you need to work on your vocabulary for this industry. And then I think you need to talk to the British speaking people, the English speakers there who speak with a British accent. Talk to them and just tell them, hey, it's my pleasure to work with you and I am doing my best. Please tell me if there's anything I can do to improve my English for you. Just tell them.
Okay.
That's humble.
Okay.
That's humble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. You're doing fine. Just keep working on it. Okay, Sohail.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. All right. Thank you, everyone, for the comments and everything. Natalia says, I think you need to be very confident in yourself to try 200 times. You do, but that's what I'm saying. Like, look, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to ask you, how many times did you try? And if you tell me I only tried 10 times or 2 times or 50 times, it's not enough. To be good at something, you need much higher numbers. You just don't understand that that's how it works. If you want to be great at something, you need higher numbers. Your numbers are too low. You got to practice more. Okay? How can you focus on improving your English specifically in business, at specific career, export, import, and logistics and trading? Oh, Ismail, that's a pretty big question. Sounds like you might need, buy a private lesson from me and I can help you. Okay? Go to my website. You can buy a private lesson from me. I look overconfident. I think you mean I look very confident. Overconfident usually means a bad thing. Yeah. Okay, listen, guys. I've been here for 2 hours. It's time for me to go. All right, I've been here for 2 hours. It's time for me to go. Natalia, come back next time. Okay, come back next time, Natalia. I'll bring you on stage and relax. It's just talking. It's just talking, okay? Relax. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Yakub. Thank you. I appreciate it. Salmoni, you were waiting since yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But Salmoni, I've been on this app for 12 years. I've been doing live streams for more than 3 years. I have done probably almost 2,000 hours of teaching here for free. Yeah, so you can come back and you can go to my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and watch hundreds of videos on there, just like today. So today, how many answers did you get? How many answers did you hear today from me? Go watch my YouTube channel. There are thousands more. I have 75,000 followers on HelloTalk. 75,000 followers. So I have answered every question you can imagine. I have already answered it. Whatever question you have, somebody has already asked me. Okay? Go to my YouTube channel and you can watch it and find out. Okay? Natalia, it's my job. This is my job as being an English teacher. So broadcasting is part of how I build my business. Okay? It's a risk you take. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. But again, here's my YouTube channel. And if you want private lessons from me, go get private lessons from me. Go to my website. Go buy private lessons from me. If you think I'm helpful now, you should see how helpful I can be one-on-one. Okay? I am usually here in the morning and in the evening, New York City time. Okay? So in the morning, around 9 a.m.-ish, around that time, I'm usually doing a live stream or voice room. And in the evening, I'm trying to do one also. Okay, I'm busy, so sometimes I can't, but I do the best I can. All right? Okay, guys, I got to go. My voice is running out. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live in the world. Don't forget, there are no shortcuts. Let me say that one more time. There are no shortcuts. Okay? Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.